What's up, everybody, and welcome to BioS3 Storytime. I haven't had a story time in a little while, so let's go back to 1992, 93, when I was just a youngin', and we had this competitive bodybuilding team at Gold's Gym. Now, we had me and Donnie Souza, we were the two teenagers. We had a guy named Duval, who was like a middleweight. We had a tall guy named Rob. We had Dave Medeiros. We had J.C. Monet, who was a female bodybuilder. We had Kim, who was a female bodybuilder. And we had this older guy who I cannot remember this guy's name. He was a Grandmasters competitor. And this is 1992. And he was shredded. I mean, he was fucking peeled all the time. Off-season contests. And he did a really good job. He was winning. And he would come pose with us. That was his niche, was he'd pose with us. He wouldn't go to Al for diets or anything like that, or train with us, but he'd pose with us. And one day we get into a discussion inside of our posing class about how he felt the body cannot distinguish between a sugar carb, a complex carb, a fiber carb, any kind of carb when it's in a deprived state. So when it's in a starved state, it can't tell whether or not the carb is coming from sugar or wherever. Now, let me remind you guys, this guy was small. He was about 140 pounds, 135 pounds, 5'8", shredded. And, you know, Al had this talk with him and said, look, part of the reason why you are so small and you're not gaining any size in the last 20 years is that you're keeping your calories so low so that you can eat these sugar carbs. And he said, oh, no, you know, I have my way. Well, he kept this way for a while, and again, he did not put on any muscle. Now, being an older guy, that, you know, seems kind of normal, but the bottom line was he wasn't progressing at all. His conditioning stayed good, but no progression. So what's the point of even fucking doing it if your conditioning's not getting better and you're not getting any bigger? You're basically just collecting trophies to be the same, and that's not really much of a sport, and that kind of fucking sucks. So finally, he gave in to Al and listened to him. Can't remember this guy's name, Charles? I can't remember his name. But eventually what he did was wound up including certain carbohydrates in his diet and dieting a different way. Lo and behold, he gained 5 pounds of stage weight and was slightly tighter the next year after changing that way of thinking. Now, that was in 92. All these fucking flexible dieters who are like, oh, this is like the new age. This is the new way. Oh, this is fucking new school. Dude, that was fucking 21 years ago this was happening. Okay? So obviously you guys don't know shit, because people were doing that long before any motherfucker came along and coined the phrase flexible dieting and marketed the shit out of it and had a place to go with it and package it so that people fucking caught on to it. People were already thinking like that back then. And again, back then, it was producing these little, small, shredded physiques that weren't fucking progressing. So, the take-home message here is, A, there's fucking nothing new out there, so you guys are not fucking breaking ground. You guys are going back in time and fucking complicating shit like they did, only to bring your asses back. Although everybody's so fucking stubborn and stuck up and fucking proud nowadays that they probably won't even fucking change it. They'll stay there and be small and skinny and shredded for the rest of their lives and go aesthetic, because fucking that's a whole new cool thing. And never change their ways and never really gain any amount of muscle. And I keep hearing all these people, oh, you know, I'm getting great results. And then they really have nothing to show for it. So this older guy had nothing to show for it until he started revamping his diet, pulled the sugars out, and started including the complex carbohydrates, and his whole physique changed within a year. So, and these are natural bodybuilders. We were tested twice a year and a polygraph test before each show. So random testing if you're part of the organization, and a polygraph test before every show. So even in the off season, if you're taking something, there's a possibility you would get caught because you're still being tested. So this is the end of story time, and the take-home message from story time is, again, there's nothing new out there, and unless you change your way of thinking and open up your mind, you're never going to progress. You're never going to progress. Yes, you can get shredded, but who wants to be shredded and never gain? What's the point of going to the fucking gym to stay the same year after year, or gain a single pound year after year and not look any different on the fucking stage? That's just fucking retarded. BioS2Training@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. Fucking don't argue. www.bios2training.com is the blog, and we're out.